Sticky Bomb. If you've been around long enough in the Risk of Rain community, you probably know this item's past. Shuriken, Gasoline, Will-O-Wisp, Void Scent, Flame, and Tentibobble all have at least one thing in common with one another. That is, they all scale quadratically. Shuriken scales in both reload speed and projectile damage. Gas scales in both range and duration. Void Scent and Will-O-Wisp in range and damage, and Tentibobble in both chance and duration. Now, Sticky Bomb used to be in this club, dealing 250% additive damage at 5%, each stack increasing that damage by an additional 125%, and linearly increasing its proc chance at 2.5. It lasted for roughly 3 months. Honestly, it's quite odd for all the rave and glory this version of Sticky Bomb had. It didn't last very long, given especially now that the game is roughly 5.5 years old. But hey, we still got things that we remember all the time, such as the rusted key, right? Always gave a red, fair memory to bolster. Anyway, with the nerf being received, Sticky Bomb was reduced to the damage we know it as now. It was made to be based off a total damage rather than a survivor's base damage, making it better for burst survivors to make use of it. However, it wasn't until another 3 months would pass that it would become the item we know it to be today, where its stacking capabilities were buffed to always be 5% chance, effectively doubling the potential of the item on stack. So, where exactly does this item fit in today's game? Well, some people have lumped this item with being good in proc chains. Proc chains being a chain reaction of different items being activated off of other items. Right now, this concept sounds like the perfect thing for Sticky Bombs. More projectiles means more chances to create more Sticky Bombs, which means more damage. And while it is true that bombs do benefit from proc chains, they are no more or less effective than increasing raw damage, crit, or attack speed. Here, let me explain. Here we have Commando using his primary attack on an Elder Lemurian, a tanky enemy that has 0 armor. With every shot, we'll say he does 100 damage. Each Sticky Bomb that activates will do 180 damage, and the chance of it activating is 5% times the number of bombs in inventory, since Commando's primary has a proc coefficient of 1.0. Looking at the damage chart below, we see that when at 20 bombs, the chance is at 100%, and we end up dealing an extra 180% damage. Now let's bring ATG into the mix. With a 10% chance to activate on hit, dealing 300 damage, we can assume that every shot will deal an extra 30 damage, and from there our Sticky Bombs will deal, 180% of that 300% every time an ATG lands, dealing 540 damage, or roughly an extra 54 when taking the average over time. Assuming we have 20 bombs in inventory. But notice one thing. The ATG is not activating off the Sticky Bomb. This is because while ATGs have a proc coefficient of 1.0, Sticky Bombs lie at a big fat 0. Having no proc coefficient means nothing can activate off of it, meaning only dead ends in the proc chain. So while the Sticky Bomb benefits from the chain doesn't benefit from it, leaving it in a neutral state. We can see this further in play if we bring another item to the chain, say Polyloot. Again, notice how the Polyloot greatly expands the tree of potential while the Stickies remain as root nodes, unable to produce. Looking at the damage chart with this in hand, we see that the Polyloot has slightly increased the overall damage for both Sticky Bomb and ATG, and ATG has decently increased the value of the Polyloot. Despite only having a proc coefficient of 0.2, well, it's better than nothing. ATG is a good example of a proc chain item. The more you add in, the more other items benefit from it. Notice how little Sticky Bomb and Polyloot reduce in overall potential when ATG is stacked. Just 10 alone more than triples the damage output of both the Polyloot and the Sticky Bomb. Now if we swap out these 20 Stickies with some watches and crits, say 10 of each, we'll see that these damage numbers go even higher by nearly 70%. Breaking watch is a concern, just use syringes for nearly the same results. Sticky Bomb is the weakest of these neutral damage increasing white items, but it does have a few tricks up its sleeve. You see, Sticky Bombs are sort of a weird hybrid between AoE and single target damage. Enemies within 5 meters of this item will take full damage from the bomb when detonated, and others up to 10 meters will take at least a quarter of it. This means that Sticky Bomb will at least do some damage in a radius a couple meters smaller than what one Gasoline can do, but unlike gas which require kills, Sticky Bombs only require hits. This could be decent for helping clear large crowds of enemies if you're without any other option. Not the greatest, but better than nothing. Sticky bombs also work great in scenarios where clovers are found. Instead of being decently behind, we see that stickies can mostly keep up with raw damage items when assisted with 1. Perhaps this is where the misconception of stickies being good on proc chain comes in, as proc chains are also greatly affected by clover. Regardless, having a few or even several stickies is a good thing when this comes into play. If I were to put Sticky Bomb on a tier list, I would put it at B tier. Not the best damage item to take, but damage is damage, and most of the time you gotta take what you can get. That's all for this video. Did I forget something about the Sticky Bomb item? Did something stick out to you? Leave a comment below to let me know. Thanks for watching.